let's make a two-way table. You conduct a survey that asks 286 students in your freshman class whether they play a sport or musical instrument. 93 of the students do not play a sport or an instrument. 118 of the students play a sport, and 64 of those 118 students play an instrument. All right, let's take the 4 pieces of data that we have and let's create our table. First of all, we need to think about what the 2 categories are, and they are playing a sport. So we'll put sport this way, or playing a musical instrument. We'll put it this way. Now, we know that we've got yes or no on each of those. Let's get it organized. And here's the data that we have. The survey asked 286 students. Well, that would go to your marginal frequency chart where the totals are. 286 would be here. Okay. Then we got 93 of the students do not play a sport or an instrument. So if I go to the no's on both of these, that would be 93 people that didn't play either. All right, 118 students played a sport, and 64 of those played an instrument. So 118 playing a sport would be a yes for sport. That'd be the 118, but it said 64 of those would play an instrument. So out of the 118, 64 of those play the instrument. Now, to get the missing information, all we have to do is some subtractions, okay? So we got 286 here. If we subtract off the 118, we'll know that this has to be 168, because remember that the 2 here have to add to be 286. Then I can take 118 and subtract off the 64. And then that will let me know that there were 54 people that said they did not play an instrument. And then I can take 168 and subtract off 93. And I'll know that 75 played an instrument but not a sport. Okay, so let's add these together. 4 and 3 is 7, 147 on that column. This would be 139 on that column. So there is your two-way table and your marginal frequencies.